amazing poet who has at least 13 books of poetry and at least 2 books of essays and a beautiful garden and a great spirit. And so please give your attention and welcome to Carl Daneff.
So we have to be grateful to the people who spent a lot of time organizing this event. Poetry is a solitary activity. You go off by yourself and you sit at a desk away from the noise of the world. But it's good to be reminded that you're also part of a community of people who are writing. In this case, people who live where you live. And this also should remind you of the larger community of writers, living and dead, who inspire your own work. Everybody has to make his or her own particular selection from those, the writers that are important. And that is the kind of community that helps guide you on your own way as a writer. So I wanted to read a poem about a writing group that I was in some 40 years ago here in Buffalo. There were 4 of us. We met at the house of one of them, Mac Hammond, who was a poet here in the English department. And we just, every other week, we sat down and we read and critiqued and received critiques from the people in the group. 4 people, but in the poem there's a 5th person, Li Po, who's a poet from ancient China who's invoked as a kind of mentor for us. So the poem is called Numbers. 2 hands may not always be better than 1, but 4 feet and more are likely to prove more steady than 2 as we wade a stream, holding above our heads the ark of our covenants with the true and beautiful. A crowd of outlaw pagans hot on our heels, the shades of our ancestors cheering us on. 3 friends with poems at Max this evening are closer than 1 to the truth if we lift our glasses to the poet that Mac proposes we toast before beginning, Li Po. 3 votes that the poem I brought is finished, versus 1 turn of the head too slight for anyone not on the watch to notice as Li Po demurs. Is this America, land of 1 man, 1 vote? I want to ask, or the China of 1 man rule, of emperors who believe they're gods? Li Po, now only a thin layer of dust in Sichuan province, though somehow still standing inches behind his words. 5 of my lines, he suggests with a nod, out of the score I've written, are fine as they are if I provide them the context that they deserve and speak them without misgivings and with greater gusto. 5 lead out from the kitchen, past a dozen detours to a single bridge that must be crossed in order to reach a homeland eager for my arrival. This is the message I get from a prophet whose signs are a threadbare coat and an empty cupboard. Proof he's never written for anyone but himself and the dead teachers, easy to count on the stiff fingers of 1 hand. Thank you.